Church closings appear to have been a big benefit for the Cleveland Catholic Diocese. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Leon Bibb. Earlier today, Bishop Richard Lennon announced how selling 26 closed churches has helped the bottom line. News Channel 5's Tracy Carlos was at the news conference. She joins us live with the story.
Well, Leon, for the first time since the Cleveland Catholic Diocese closed and merged churches, details about that process are emerging today. Details about the buildings, the money, and the holy items that were inside those churches. The report was released to parishioners in the bulletin yesterday, and today Bishop Richard Lennon spoke to the media. Now, I asked the bishop about the process of closing these churches that means so much to the people who come here every week to pray, and he said something that perhaps some will be surprised by.
I closed my own parish back in Boston, where my grandfather built it, where I was, made my first communion, where I buried my parents, where I said my first Mass. But it's not about, ultimately, it's not about church buildings, my friends.
So far, $19.5 million has come from the sale of the buildings and some other things. About $7 million is going back into parishes in our communities. There are still, of course, 14 appeals that are at the Vatican in Rome that will be decided possibly as early as March. And right now where we're standing is a former church in Lakewood that has become the Museum of Divine Statues. The bishop pointed out this is one example of how the churches are being reused. In Lakewood, Tracy Carlos, News Channel 5.
Tracy, before you get away, let me ask you, the bishop seemed quite forthcoming about this because it has been kind of a controversial move. Did he say anything other than that?
Sure, Leon. I mean, he talked a lot. The press conference went on for about an hour, and we talked about several things, including, it was very painful closing these churches for the parishioners who had their churches closed. And we will go into greater detail coming up on later editions on News Channel 5 as well as the internet. But it's safe to say that it was not an easy decision. And for the first time, we heard from Bishop Lennon about his decision, or the people's decision, rather, to close these churches, as he put it.
Indeed. We will look for your reports throughout the day. Many thanks, Tracy Carlos. She'll be with us at 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Thank you, Tracy.